Hey, thanks for tuning in. I am talking with David Owen. We're checking out the Arcade Redux. Hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Okay, so here we go. The Arcade, the Redux. So you had a couple of fixes here. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Mirror's Edge map in particular, a lot of people were dying. One of the areas there, I created a really big slide and fall, but people were dying in that because if you jump, it actually made you then too high, so it was the fall damage would kill you.
Hmm.
So from memory, I think that was the only change. I can't really remember what other changes I did with the Redux, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's cool of you to go back and fix. I usually, I'm done with that map. I've been working on it for months.
Yeah, that's
So that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in. I like the spawn. I like these rules. Sometimes it's great to just have a little like I'm doing my own thing here. So let's see. Clear the arcade of enemies and choose to play explore game. Yes, yes. Here we go. So we got some guns at the start. Very generous of you.
not much though, because some of the maps, yeah, like because they're based on other arcade games, it didn't make sense to have weapons in them.
Yeah. It's hard for me to have a conversation and try not to die at the same time.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I'm getting bashed over the head right
Yeah.
now.
I got you, brothers in arms. So this is I first want to talk about because this is pretty much a generic shape map, pretty much.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you say? Could you talk towards the figuring out how to make certain things and blending different shapes together and just to really capture what you're going for, like these ketchup bottles, for example. Like I know you
Yeah.
got like a pyramid in there and a cylinder.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they were pretty basic. Those ones, I could have gone to a bit more detail with them, but yeah, because it was only such a minor thing, I thought, no, I'll focus on other things and spend my budget elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I thought of okay, what's going to be in an arcade firstly. So the arcade machines themselves were the most important things that I started with, and then I built the arcade
Mhm.
area around it. So I thought, okay, well, usually they have like a little cafe or
Yeah.
a food shop there. So that's what's behind us here. This roller door is supposed to be sort of like
Yeah,
a
he's
yeah,
closed. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that's right, yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah. But as far as yeah, you're right. Like a lot of generic shapes put together to create the tables, the chairs, and of course the arcade machines themselves.
Yeah.
And I think I think with as with most mappers, designers, you look at real pictures online, or just
Of course.
yeah, just go from reality and think, okay, well, how do I replicate that? What can I use to replicate that? I loved the fact that this spilt sugar. I don't know how I came across. There was some, yeah, I think it was when I created the sugar container upright. I thought, it'd be great to have one tipped over.
Yeah.
And I thought, what could I use to sort of represent the spilt sugar?
Can I guess?
Uh,
Is it snow?
I think it is. I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's like one of the snow rocks or something like that. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so
Yeah.
creative. Oh, that's awesome. And then you
And then
use like the goo, I think. Is that like a goo decal?
that's right. Yeah, that's the zombie goo for the mustard, and then the sauce, of course, is just the tomato sauce is
Yeah.
blood, or the ketchup,
Blood.
as you guys
Yeah.
like to call it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I hadn't
Yeah.
realized. That's so great. All right, shall we start with Pac-Man? What do you think?
Yeah. There's no real order to how you should play them. I think, yeah, I've definitely made it so you can play basically any one of them first. You just can't go back to that. You can't
Right.
revisit them afterwards.
That's
Yeah.
so
So yeah.
cool that you were able to do that. I know with like the wave functions, and maybe you could talk about it a little bit, like the wave functions and stuff like that. It's
Mhm.
how were you able to spread out five or six different uh, arenas of AI?
Well, yeah, that was it. The making sure you can control your waves is a bit tricky in this sort of scenario. So there's not a lot of enemies across the whole five arcade machines, basically. So that's how they're all just wave one. Yeah, I would have loved to have multiple waves, but giving players the option of which arcade machine to go into first just made that impossible.
We found them. So Mirror's Edge is next.
Yeah, sure thing.
Full zip line.
Yeah, so we've got an option, I guess, that it'd be cool to give players an option here of how they want to enter the map. So you can either rappel and use the zip line, or you could go for a big slide. I'm going to go the slide.
I was really curious when I first played. Like, I was like, well, how is he going to pull off Mirror's Edge? But you totally do. It's amazing you were able to fit all of this into the map space, the map making space. Did you have to, because we talked about this, I think, before on some of our previous videos about how, like, some areas of the map are, like, really high up, so the player won't be able to see, or using fog, stuff like that. What was your process with that?
Yep. No, you're spot on. I mean, there's different ways you can approach it to try and make sure that people can't see any of the elements in one of the other areas. Like in this one, for example, because this has got a lot of the skyscrapers. I wouldn't want anyone to be able to see them in the other arcade maps they enter. Now, the good thing is, though, this is the only one that's outdoors. Everything else was the other four.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, they're all internal maps, so you won't be able to see this stuff. So that's best way to control it is if you have the ability to, depending on what you're designing, to obviously control it that way, or like you said, with fog or mountain ranges or raised and lowered terrain.
What are these buildings blocking the view?
Safari Seeing is the other one. If you look over to the IMED CTS News building, over behind that one is where all the other maps are. So we're in in one of the far corners. So if you look over to in that direction, just to your right a little bit, that's the farthest corner. One of the
recommended by Dr. Dave.
Yeah.
I love that little Easter egg there.
Now I have also, I'm not sure if you've ever fallen to your death here, but I've also made an option here that there's no risk.
You try again.
There's no risk if you do actually. You don't feel like there's any risk if you're up high and there's no chance of dying. So I thought, okay, well, what I'll do is, instead of putting invisible walls around all the buildings so that you can't fall off, I'll let them fall off, but I'll make it a respawn.
Yeah. How many times can they fall off?
3. I made it 3. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That is incredible that you were able to do that, and I love that you put a couple of. Oh, good. I thought you fell off the building.
Yeah. Oh, just while we're here, this is one of the areas which I was when I was designing it. I thought I want an area like this where the sun's coming through and some really cool shadow, shadow area.
Little no, I get what you're saying. The light's coming through. Is that natural light from the sun, or is that like a light orb or whatever they call it?
To be honest, I think I might have put some lights just outside here to make sure that it gave the right reflection. Yeah,
totally buy it though. Totally buy it. Looks great. Oh, this is so cool. This is so a lot of fun for me.
I love the slides. I love the
slide. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do the slide the first time. Slide all day.
Yeah, that's right. Sliding and ziplining, just great fun in them. The arcade. Before we go on to the next game as well, the claw was something that I thought I wanted to add besides the actual games themselves. And if you do get inside there are some prizes, like some pickups, obviously, for you.
Oh, you can get inside here?
Yeah, you can. But I think the only way you can is through the prize door down below.
Oh, so, I was going to say, do I have to break the windows?
Yeah. So you can climb up and over it and everything, but the way to get in there is through here and grappling.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's all these corpses of animals. Love it.
Yeah. They're supposed to be little stuffed toys, of course, but unfortunately, it's pretty grim. It's a whole bunch of dead animals.
I love it when I show like maybe a friend who's new to Far Cry, and I show him what the editor could do, and I can show him like a cool space. Like for example, at the end of the race, there's all these people in the stands, and I made it look like they're taking photos or whatever with flashy lights. And he's like, "Wow, that's so cool! You could put all those people." I was like, "Yep, well, they're actually corpses." So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, off to Space Invaders.
Yep. It's so amazing. I can't get over it how much you got away with here. And the teleporting, like so much scripting and teleporting. Like, how do you not break your maps? It's amazing.
Yeah, I guess just trial and error. Yeah, I think a lot of it is. You give it a go and see if it works, and keep trying it to make sure it continually works. It definitely takes a lot of trial and error. Would have loved to have actually made it that, you know, where you land just at the beginning of this map, where you land above, and so it looks like the old Space Invaders.
Right.
Would have been great. Yeah, it would have been great to play it that way. And that's why I put in the mortar, because I thought the mortar is the,
yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, gives you that overview like Space Invaders would be.
Okay, here we go. A classic.
Oh, when you were speaking earlier about the text at the very beginning, where it gives you sort of an indication of what you need to do in the arcade when you start it all, I have heard some people mention in the groups that try to avoid using too much text, because we've got to consider the fact that people from non-English speaking backgrounds may be playing them as well.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. I mean, I want to put it in there because you definitely need to give some description sometimes of where the player needs to do or go, but also being conscious of the fact that there are going to be people who can't read that. So
yeah, that's true. Text.
Wow, really?
That dog just straight up jumped in the water. Oh, this is so cool. It definitely gives me the vibe of Tomb Raider for sure.
Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, Tomb Raider was probably the first game I played on PS1, and I just was hooked right from the get-go. I thought, I love this series. This is my favorite series in all the games that I've ever played. So I thought, well, there's no way I can't do an homage to Tomb Raider at some point.
Yeah. Oh, that is so cool. Is that I don't know if you're by me. Yeah. Are those God rays?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
That looks so cool. Oh, wow.
This one is a lot of the mossy temple sort of assets. I don't know. I think it might be from Far Cry 4. I think. I'm not really sure.
I think it's from the Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Yes, right.
Because of the pirate stuff.
Yeah. Now this is an area. This is an area where you can also fall down and die as well, but I think it's another 3 respawn points here as well.
Wow, another 3? How could you get away with so much scripting?
I guess I don't know. I don't seem to have too much trouble with, you know, putting scripts in where I need to, except the fact that I want to make sure that they work, because that's the biggest risk when it comes to scripting, is that a script will break, you know, for whatever reason during the upload,
right?
Or during the publishing of, I should say.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the greatest risk, is that it's just gonna not work the way you want it to work for the player.
I feel like if I use 4 scripts, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous that my map is not going to work. Yeah.
So a bit of a water puzzle here. We collect the stuff. Just a quick restart. Yep, just so we can do the little animation and change the environment. So we've closed off the water there, so therefore that means outside it's now filled up.
Yes. And now you can climb. Does it matter which way you go?
Definitely got to go to the right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the west. Now, before I spotted this, that's what made me head that way the first time. Right here we are. Yep.
There's a really cool animation that you're coming across in there at the moment, I'd imagine.
Yep.
The collapsing
The floors
floors.
are falling, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I should have waited for you. My bad.
Oh, no, it's okay. No, not a
I'm
problem.
having too much fun.
Oh, and I fell down. And sometimes, like you were saying, yeah, you got to sacrifice that due to budgetary constraints.
Right.
But yeah, others are just getting away with amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great.
But this still takes you know, the same piece of the 5 stars because the experience that players had here is equivalent to, or maybe greater for some, than seeing a really detailed house in, playing a really intricate map or something like that. But this map has the playthrough is phenomenal, and there's cool scripting, there's plenty stuff to look at, and there's like 5 different games in the map. So what more could you want?
Yeah, that's right. So you got the Bible. I'm not going to bother to try and get up there because I keep falling. So yeah, obviously there's the script in here that you can't get through the red doors until you pick up the Bible.
What did you use to block the doors?
That's a good question. I can't recall, because I know obviously if you use a destructible wall, people can just shoot through it.
Yeah.
And it's a damn shame they never made invisible walls spawnable, because that would have helped us so much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, don't you know it? I think it might have been. I quite often use like a truck.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
You could that way. Yeah, that way you've got a full the full side of a truck to be able to stop anyone getting through. But it quite often depends on if there's room to put a truck where it's not going to have clipping issues.
This I remember. Maybe we should dismount and play the map properly.
I think this might have been one of the first things I designed for the arcade.
I remember you posted this a long time ago.
Yeah, that is. I forgot what they're called even.
Yeah, me
God, I
too.
got a bad memory. Not destroyers. It's something like that. But I just thought, I've got to replicate that. It's from the recent version of Tron, not the original 80s one. Even though I'm an 80s boy myself. Already played the others.
Yep. Here we go. Thumbs up.
Yeah, just a little hint. Please give me a thumbs up.
You are victorious.
Thanks for tuning in to this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and comment on any other suggestions you guys would like to see in the future.